There are encounters that leave us shaken, and this one, in particular, affected you in a way that can't be explained logically. From the very first look, there was a strange familiarity, a magnetism that pulled without asking permission. When the Seal of Souls card appeared, it made it clear that this connection is not ordinary. There is an ancient pact that brought you together exactly at this moment. But the question that echoes is this a twin flame or a karmic relationship? The Mirror of Fire card was the second to appear, and it speaks of an intensity. With twin flames, this intensity comes with growth. With karmic relationships, it comes with repetition. The difference is subtle, but essential. Here I see that your energy blends both. It's as if there's a spiritual calling to recognize each other, but also a contract to heal old debts. Soon after, the unbreakable bond appeared, bringing that feeling that no matter how much you try to walk away, something always brings you back. This is typical of souls that have something to resolve. Sometimes it's pure and expansive love. Other times, it's a hard and challenging lesson. And you've probably felt both sides of this coin. The Invisible Chains card revealed that there is a repetitive pattern here. It might be in the way you fight, drift apart, or reconnect. And this is a sign that karma is involved. Not in the sense of punishment, but of learning. It's as if the universe is saying, until you resolve this, you'll keep repeating this cycle. Then came the ancestral flame, and its energy is deep. It shows that your meeting was written long before this lifetime. You may have met in other incarnations, in different roles, perhaps not even romantic, but always carrying this magnetic force. That's why the recognition was so immediate. You already know each other. The Awakening Mirror card brought an important point. This person reflects to you parts of yourself that you might prefer not to see. This can be uncomfortable because it forces you to look inward and face your own shadows. In a twin flame, this happens for growth. In karma, it happens as a cycle that only breaks when there is true change. Finally, the Guardian of Lessons closed this first sequence of cards, showing that regardless of whether it's a twin flame or karma, this relationship is a disguised master. What you learn from each other now will echo throughout your journey, and perhaps that's exactly the purpose of this connection. When the Knot of Destiny appeared, I felt as if ancient threads woven long before this life were pulling you toward the same point, even when you try to resist. Even when pride speaks louder. It's not a coincidence. It never was. This bond carries a purpose that unfolds in layers. Love and healing, light and shadow, meeting and testing. Love here doesn't just arrive to comfort, it arrives to stir, to shake, to expose what was hidden. And when I speak of karma, I don't mean punishment, but commitment. Agreements the soul made with itself to evolve. Soon after, the broken mirror presented itself. This card is almost like a portrait of you two reflections that recognize each other but are not entirely whole. There are cracks, some subtle, others deep. It's not meant to push away. It's meant to show where healing is needed. A twin flame will show you what is most beautiful and most painful in yourself. A karmic relationship will make you relive the same wounds until you learn to heal them. And you seem to be living both processes at once. The Wheel of Lives spun across the table as if to say, you've been here before. And it's not a metaphor. In other lives, you've experienced different types of connections. Perhaps as lovers, perhaps as family, maybe even as enemies. And the patterns that arise between you today are echoes of those other stories. Situations that repeat almost like an old script, but with the chance now to choose a different ending. The universe offers the stage, but you decide the scene. Then came the Guardian of the Circle, with a strong presence. It shows that no matter how intense everything is, you are protected within a safe energetic space. It's as if higher forces ensure that nothing escapes the control of what has been designed. Yes, it may hurt. Yes, it may confuse. But it's not meaningless destruction. It's refinement. Next, the protective fire burned into the reading. This card speaks of passion that warms and passion that burns, of desire that inspires and desire that suffocates. You have this fire, and it's rare. In twin flames, it expands. In karmic relationships, it consumes. It all depends on how it's used. Here, I feel the universe is asking for balance, because if the fire is left unchecked, it can burn everything down. But if cared for, it can illuminate paths you can't yet imagine. The keys of the soul appeared like a whisper. You have access to inner spaces in each other that no one else can reach. Perhaps that's why it's so hard to let go. It's as if you've opened doors that have been closed for lifetimes. And now what has been seen cannot be unseen. This key is a gift, but also a responsibility, because what is opened can heal or wound even more. Then, the breath of truth closed this sequence with the promise that sooner or later, clarity will come. It might be a deep conversation, a revealing dream, a sign from destiny, but the moment will come when you'll know exactly what this relationship is. And when that happens, you may realize that the label, twin flame, or karma, matters less than what you choose to do with what you've learned. And here is one certainty. Whatever the answer, this story has already changed who you are. And perhaps that was always the true purpose. When the soul mirror appeared, I felt it wanted to bring a deep silence. That moment when you stop and breathe because you realize this person was not just another chapter in your life. It's as if their soul had a direct reflection of yours. And that in itself is rare. The reflection is not only about beauty, it also shows the shadows. And it's in this contrast that you learn. Right after, the silent heart appeared, with an energy of restrained love. There is feeling, yes, but it's not being fully lived. Maybe out of fear, maybe due to circumstances, maybe because one of you still needs to mature before fully surrendering. It's like an open book that someone keeps closed, even knowing the pages are precious. The Bridge of Lives card showed that this story didn't start now. You've crossed this bridge in other lives, maybe more than once. And every time you meet, something inside you both recognizes and feels at peace, but also restless, because it knows there's something to fulfill. The call of infinity came right after, reminding that some connections don't obey human time. This bond can endure years, silences, distances, and still remain alive. Infinity isn't just about eternal duration, it's about intensity that doesn't dissolve. The Guardian of the Flame confirmed that there is something precious here that must not be extinguished. Even if destiny changes the paths, even if life places other stories in between, this flame continues to exist. It may burn low, but it doesn't go out. Then, the lessons of the soul appeared, showing that deep down, this entire encounter, whether twin flame or karma, is about profound learning. Learning about love, about boundaries, about surrender, and also about knowing when to let go. Understanding that some stories are meant to be lived, and others transformed. Finally, the Portal of Choice appeared as the final card. It shows that soon there will be a decisive moment. It might be a reunion, a conversation, or even a definitive silence that brings answers. And in that instant, you'll be able to look back and understand. This was a soul love that came to expand, or a karma that came to set you free. And whatever the answer, it doesn't diminish the impact of this story in your life, because what is truly felt is never lost.